storm has passed. It's a Clay County showdown in our Varsity 4 game of the week as the Orange Park Raiders visit the Middleburg Broncos. Along with Justin Barney, I'm Cole Pepper. This is a matchup of two programs at very different points in their seasons. Orange Park comes in 1-4, having lost their last 4 games, dealing with a lot of injuries, including at their starting quarterback position and several key defensive players. And they're trying to find their footing. On the other hand, for Middleburg, it's a historic start to the season. It's been 35 years since the Broncos have started a season 5-0 as they have this year. We will be keeping our eyes on some key players today, including for Orange Park, Quentin Moore started the season as their top wide receiver, had to be moved to quarterback to replace the injured starter Gabe Taylor, who's out with a shoulder injury. For Middleburg, their defense has been dominant this year, and it's been led by that young man, B.J. Carter. The defensive tackle is set to play his college ball at Iowa State, but not before he finishes his senior season at Middleburg. That's Marcus Wimberly, the head coach of Orange Park, former Miami Hurricanes defensive back, 5th-round draft pick of the Atlanta Falcons in 1997, his 3rd season at Orange Park. And for Middleburg, it's Ryan Wolf in his 4th season as the Broncos head coach. He won 5 games in each of his first 3 seasons. He's already won 5 this year, and looking like his best team has a chance to have a memorable campaign in Clay County.
Thank you for your support of Middleburg High Athletics.
We're getting close to kickoff. They're going to start this thing early on. And so here we go, Justin Barney. This is a game that for Middleburg is an opportunity to give them 6 wins, which would go a long way in their season in an attempt to make the playoffs once again for the 3rd straight year. And for Orange Park, really a chance to try to turn their season around and repeat what they did last year and beat Middleburg.
And that's huge for both of these teams. And I just came off doing the high school football game of the week pregame show. And yes, you see the records. And yes, you figure Middleburg is a big favorite and Orange Park's struggling. But there's just something different that these county games provide, whether it's Nassau, Clay, St. John's. They're just a different element to this game where you say throw out the records, these kids know each other. There's that history there, and I think it's going to be a better game than maybe people are giving him credit for.
All right, deep back to return the kick for Orange Park. You see Zachariah Murphy, there, number 13, and Brock Arojo ready to kick it away from the 40-yard line. Middleburg in the red on red with the black helmets, and Orange Park with the orange helmets and pants and white jerseys in this Clay County matchup. And our Varsity 4 game of the week about ready to get underway. Arojo will kick it short, and fair catch called for and taken at the 38, maybe the 37-yard line. And we'll see Orange Park come out for their first possession. 1-4 on the season. They won their opener 26-0 over Ridgeview. Since then, it has been a tough go with injuries and a tough schedule, losing to Oakleaf, Riverside, Fleming Island, and last week falling to Bartram Trail. And Quentin Moore, wearing number 15, he wore 80 when the season began as a wide receiver, but he's changed his jersey and changed his responsibilities. He's particularly good at running the football and still kind of learning the offense fully. And there is movement right out of the gate. Jumping on the Middleburg defensive front, B.J. Carter, their best defensive player, probably their best football player overall. But this is a defense for Middleburg, Justin, that is loaded with future college players.
Yeah, B.J. Carter is the guy to watch, and I don't think he's just the best player on this field. I think he's the maybe even the best player in Clay County. There is a lot of talent on this Middleburg team, and B.J. is the guy for the Broncos.
So first down and 5, and Moore working from that pistol formation will hand it off. Dylan Ruiz running up the middle. doesn't find much room running behind a upperclassman-led offensive line with four juniors and a senior, and they are going to have their hands full against this tough Middleburg defense that has allowed just 6 points all season long.
And if you're Orange Park, you know what's happened this season. It's been a kind of a little bit of a slow start for them. If you can come out here and set the tone, maybe put Middleburg back on its heels in a spot it hadn't been, I think that's the key for the Raiders.
On 2nd and 5, Moore will try to get to the edge. Could not quite find the right alley to cut it up, and gains maybe a yard. It'll be 3rd down and 4. You should take another look at the rollout to the right side. This is a Middleburg defense that swarms to the ball. They make plays. They are loaded with players who also are part of the weightlifting team that's won 3 straight district championships. So this is a tough, physical, swarming defense for the Broncos.
Down, Broncos, let's make some noise!
And I think you've seen that throughout their first 5 weeks of the season and what they've done statistically to show you what this program has done and developed into in these last 4 years under Ryan Wolf.
3rd down and a short 5, and all kinds of movement on both sides. I think this one's going to go against Orange Park. Yet, if you think about these kind of defensive stats for, they're going to call it on Middleburg jumping across the line, and that will give Orange Park a 1st down. They've allowed 6 points to Middleburg. They have 14 takeaways and 15 sacks. All 4 of the starting defensive linemen have 2 sacks or more this year already. And they have really not been challenged really at all this year. The only points came in a 42-6 win at NFEI. The rest of the games, shutouts against Westside, Clay, Hollis Christian, and last week against Ridgeview. And that has included some games where the starters have sat down early. Handoff up the middle. DeMar Jackson that is Ruiz 25. Well, it was 24, Jackson.
Boyd and Waysop on the tackle.
Close to the 1st down.
And just what you want to see on this drive, if you're Marcus Wimberly, you're patient. You've drawn a couple penalties already on Middleburg, jumping off sides, and you are putting together a nice drive on the ground going right at the Broncos.
2nd and 1. Here is Ruiz up the middle and has the 1st down past the 40 to the 39. Wimberly told us when we talked to him that he knew he'd have to manage the game. They are playing a lot of guys both ways out of necessity, more so than they wanted to because of injuries. So they're going to take this very methodically. They're not going to try to make this a track meet. So far, it has been a very good start for Orange Park. Moore back in the pistol formation on 1st and 10 from the 39. And here's Ruiz. Helmet came off for an offensive lineman, and he was able to push forward for a gain of about 6.
They're averaging about 6 yards a carry on this drive, and you're just going right at them the entire time. Just about the same play we've seen the last 3 plays. Right up between the tackles, and then it's a great drive going here for the Raiders.
More than a 3-minute drive already. Last year, Orange Park beat Middleburg 41-22 in a game that Ryan Wolf admitted he probably didn't have his team as prepared as they needed to be, but vowed that that wouldn't happen this year. Another flag. This one appears to be set to go against Orange Park.
Yeah, all things considered, I think this is a great opening drive for Orange Park. Coming off a game where you got 7 points against Bartram, a huge county game here. It's a team you smacked around pretty well last year. You're coming out, and you've heard all week how great this Middleburg defense is. Coming out and running it right at them with a lot of success.
We'll see, and we've seen a lot of penalties here in the early going. How much, if at all, there is a visible result of a couple of days of classes being canceled? That could be a challenge for teams. Moore on the scramble, and he's taken down after a gain of about 7. Tackled on the play by Kingsley Rosemay, strong side linebacker.
Brings a third and medium lead for Orange Park.
So it'll be 3rd down now.
Good tackle there by Rosemay. That edge was open. If he did not get a hand on him and pull him down, saved the 1st down.
The clock running is something that is definitely in Orange Park's favor. They'd like to see a slower tempo game, to be sure, particularly if they hold on to the football. A 3rd down and 6 from the 35. Opening drive of the game for Orange Park. Moore to run it, and didn't find any room on the right side. Tackled by Angel Delgado, sophomore linebacker coming up from his weak side position to make the stop.
Run, run, run. You're having that success. We've not seen the arm yet tonight.
Fourth down, and this is, for most high schools, automatic go-for-it position. Too far for a field goal, and not enough benefit for a punt.
You know what to do when they get to
So on 4th and 5, Moore will try to convert here. They need to make it just inside the 30-yard line near the 29 for a 1st down. And again, lineman jumping.
It's the 4th flag of this opening drive. 2 apiece now.
Correction, we will make that.
Man, that's a big penalty there for Orange Park.
Yeah, and now you wonder, if you think about punting, 4th and 10 is a world different than 4th and 5, particularly when you have more of a run-based quarterback. But they're going to send Moore back out there.
Go back to that huge tackle on 2nd down by Rosemay. That's a 1st down if he is not able to pull Moore down. There's nobody else around him, so great defense once again in a key spot, forcing Orange Park back here.
He's going to throw it. Moore connects. Caught by Brock Afledji, and Afledji is out of bounds for the 1st down. So the first pass completion of the ball game for Quentin Moore moves the chains on 4th and 10.
Wondering if we were going to see the pass on this drive, and they save it for 4th down and 10 and convert. Great drive going, continues for Orange Park.
I don't think Marcus Wimberly could have drawn this up any better than he has so far. He'll want to see the penalties reduced, but just in terms of the ability to move the ball, move the chains, keep the clock moving, and dominate time of possession here in the 1st quarter. It has been all Orange Park so far for more than 6 minutes on this opening drive.
7 or 8 carries straight between the tackles, and then you fling it out on 4th and 10 and connect. I think Orange Park wants to just run this ball as much as possible. Save the pass for here and there, but run, 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 and they have found success on this opening drive, just going right at Middleburg.
See Alexavier Fennell split out to the near side. He's a player who usually plays on defense as the strong safety, but they are thin in numbers at the wide receiver position. Here is Moore on the quarterback keeper, able to get a couple of yards, running between the hash marks. You see all the red shirts around him, including number 44, Gabe Baker, who was in on the tackle. along with Rosemay again. And that clock continues to roll here in the first quarter.
So it's the second week in a row, Cole, where we've seen a receiver or a non-quarterback have to take snaps at quarterback. So last week with Columbia, and again tonight with Quentin Moore here for Orange Park getting the honors.
2nd down and 8. Movement up front, but they don't throw a flag. No contact made. Moore will give it off to Ruiz, running right, and grabbed and pulled down. Big B.J. Carter was there. Number 9, you can see he is a space eater on that defensive front.
Tackling after the short game.
One of the reasons why this Middleburg defense is so good, when you have a player in the middle of the line that occupies so much space and attention. On top of it, he makes a bunch of plays too. 3 sacks on the season for the future Iowa State Cyclone. 3rd down and call it 8. Moore's going to run it himself. Tries to twist back to the inside. And a lot of red shirts there once again. And it's going to bring up another 4th down situation for Orange Park. And you'd figure they'd go for it again here. A little better position as far as kicking a field goal. You see Thomas in there, or rather Carter in there to make the tackle. They are going to go for it. They've held the ball for over 9 minutes on the opening drive. 4th and 6 from the 21. Need to make it just inside the 15. 4 receivers in this pattern. Last time on 4th down, they went to Brocca-Fledge, who's wide to the left.
Middleburg has been on the defensive side of the field for a long time.
By the Broncos to think this one over.
A long time on this drive.
Middleburg's going to call a timeout and talk things over here. They're neither one of these teams ranked right now, but who knows, a Middleburg win, they might be able to creep their way upwards.
That's right, Cole, and funny you should ask, but every Tuesday night we unveil our Super 10, and teams that are making the move up or making the move down or making the move in, you can check that out on the 10 o'clock news on Tuesdays. That's in our sports segment there. It's at about 10:45 on Tuesday nights, and also on News4JAX.com. But our new Super 10, they use every Tuesday nights.
Well, let's take a look at that Super 10. New number 1 this week.
A new number 1 for the 2nd week in a row, and a lot of shakeups in terms of the schedule this week. Rains 1, Bradford 2, Nice 3. St. Augustine drops from 1 to 4 after that loss to Nice. Bowles 5, Ponte Vedra 6, Mandarin 7, Baker County 8. 9, Beachside, and 10, Bartram Trail, who actually lost on Wednesday night to Tecoy Creek. So the Bears will be moving out of that Super 10 for the first time this season.
Another penalty marker before this 4th down snap. It has been a laundry-filled first quarter. A lot of flags on the field. And instead of 4th and 6, it'll be 4th and 11 now for Orange Park. Another long 4th down conversion needed to keep the Raiders' opening drive alive.
They did it last time with the little quick throw to a Fledge at the top of the screen. Shook a tackle and got past the first down. Let's see if that ball ends up in the air again.
He's all the way down here to the left side now in this 4 wide receiver set. Moore to throw it. Has some time. Throws high, and this one is intercepted. Picked off by Middleburg. Joel Lowe with his 2nd interception of the season. Had he knocked it down, they would have had a little better field position, but you don't want to take any chances. Lowe with the pick, and it's 15 takeaways for Middleburg this season.
Tip drill, and it just ends up in the hands of Lowe, and probably not a bad thing that they picked it off right there. If you're Orange Park, it's essential to maybe a pooch punt at that point, better than an incomplete pass. It'll show up in the stats as a pick for Joel Lowe, but probably a better situation for Orange Park to pin him back a little bit deeper.
So the first drive for Middleburg begins at the 18-yard line with 2:23 to play, and Carson Stewart is the quarterback for the Broncos. Ryan Wolf saying he's as good a quarterback as he's ever coached. We'll see how much is put into his hands. They'll run it. Travis Pinkard running it up the middle. Gained a couple. A couple weeks ago when Middleburg played Hollis Christian, they were up 31-0 after the first quarter. Pinkard only had 2 carries because it was 31-0. Getting a little more of an opportunity here.
Did you take the over in that game, Cole, or the under?
Well, it ended 39-0. I'm not sure what the over would have been, but after the first quarter, I think I would have taken the over. Second down and 8. Stewart to throw. And this one's caught by Deshaun Green. The Ridgeview transfer makes the catch. His 13th reception of the season. That leads Middleburg. Easy pitch and catch here.
Go back to the first snap, talking about Stewart and him being a excellent quarterback. He was able to reel in that very high and quick snap, and very lucky to have actually come down with that and not had that go over his head or back into the end zone. So good hands there by Carson Stewart on that quick and high snap. Third penalty of the game on the Broncos.
They'll back him up and try it again. Stewart looks to the sideline. Stewart going to roll it out here. Looking and throws up top. And coming back for the ball is Jordan Williams, who makes the catch. He's out of bounds, lost his helmet, but a big pickup by the junior, who has a couple of touchdowns this year, and this one goes for a first down.
Another big play at Middleburg. Before was a nice catch, and now a second good snag here for Jordan Williams. Joel Lowe had it. The nice catch on defense. And we got Jordan Williams with a grab and turned it into something on offense.
Talking with Ryan Wolf, one of the things he said, he's got guys who can make plays on offense. He's very happy with the skill positions and the offensive line. But because the defense has been so dominant, he hasn't always cut them loose. Maybe starting to do that a little bit here in this ball game after the long drive by Orange Park. Here's Pinkard on the run. Sheds one tackle. Gets to the outside and gains just a yard, and another penalty marker comes in.
Breaking 2 tackles to get a game of 2.
It's going to be a holding call.
See what the flag is on the field.
It has been a rarity that we've gone more than a snap without a penalty flag.
Number 5 of the game in the first quarter. 3 on Middleburg, 2 on Orange Park.
On the offense, it will be brought back.
Self-inflicted penalties so far on Middleburg.
It will be 2nd and 20 as a result, as we've gone inside a minute to play here in the first quarter. Justin, all of the Varsity 4 game of the weeks we've had this year have been thrillers. They've all gone down to the wire. Coming in, we thought maybe this one might break the string, but so far it has been just like the others.
Very similar start to last week's game with Trinity and Columbia scoreless first quarter, and man, we saw some fireworks after that.
Stewart on the rollout again. Throws. This one is caught by Williams yet again along the near sideline. And yet again, Williams loses the helmet. Would you like to go ahead and make your recommendation on the chin strap?
Maybe snap that chin strap next time. Already 2 catches and 2 helmet.
Tough with all that hair in there, too. You've got an impressive head of hair.
something for you and I, Cole. We could use that.
Never had that problem. Second down and 9, and Stewart's looking at the clock saying, hey, let's just calm down. It's fine. Let's go to the second quarter. End of the first quarter, scoreless in Middleburg between the Broncos and the Raiders of Orange Park. And you'd think that
after the Broncos spent much of the quarter,
that's exactly what Orange Park would have been okay with had they been given the option before this game began.
to give a special shout out to
now it's a good time to switch up the football talk and remind you to stay connected to all things Jaguars with our News4JAX podcast. Also, you can check that out with newsletters if reading is more your thing instead of listening. Find that at news4jax.com/newsletters or find your podcast wherever you get your favorite podcasts. And Teal the Show is coming up tonight. We've got a lot to talk about after last week. Jamal St. Cyr and Frank Frangie join you tonight at 11:20 for Teal the Show, recapping a dismal Monday night performance in Buffalo and how that plays out heading into Sunday's game against the Texans. That's Teal the Show tonight at 11:20.
No Evan Ingram, no Foye Oluokun in this one. They're both ruled out today for the Jaguars, so it's not looking great for the hometown team as they go to Houston. Second down and 2 as we, second down and 9 rather, as we start the second quarter. Carson Stewart has been able to hook up with Jordan Williams a couple of times on this drive to move the chains. He'll throw it here, looking long, and overshoots his target. Incomplete as he was trying to get it down the middle, down the seam. Wayne Solf, beg your pardon, that is Joel Lowe who was down there, the wide receiver / cornerback who had the interception.
It was open for him, and just
you can see
3 yards too far. I think if Stewart had a chance to dial that one in again, he probably does not miss.
You see the arm strength from Stewart. Ryan Wolf also loves his leadership and his pocket presence. Rolling to his left and firing. And did he get a foot in bounds? That's Lowe. Pointing over there at the sideline trying to get a call, but does not look like they will give him the catch. Toe came down out of bounds. Take another look from behind here.
A little out of bounds, but good snag.
Great effort to get it.
Good snag. And Stewart again with the move to pull that quick snap down and make something out of it.
Stewart is also the punter for this team, and he will back up into punt formation and boot it away. This one bounces and rolls inside the 5 and down to the 1. What a punt by Carson Stewart. Downed by Deshaun Green at the 1-yard line. So 1st and 99 coming up for Orange Park.
Just how they drew it up in practice. What a kick. And it died on that wet turf, and they have even rolled into the end zone had Deshaun Green not been there. So great kick and special teams effort there. You got to think the Middleburg defense loves this situation with Orange Park just running it straight up the guts. Chance for possibly 2 points.
Calling for a safety dance. Keep an eye on big number 9, B.J. Carter, right over the center here. Moore mishandles the snap, and just as predicted, there's the safety.
Cole, I'm not saying that it's a gift that I have, but
some might call it a curse.
You had to love that situation if you're Middleburg. Orange Park had run it up the middle so much tonight with success, but I think with jamming as many guys up front as you did right there, I think a safety is on the menu.
Peyton Mooneyham was roaring off the edge, even had Moore picked it up cleanly. It might have been a sack as well. So now a free kick coming. Middleburg with the 2-0 lead, and we should point out that in 4 of the previous 5 Middleburg games, 2 points would have been enough to win. They have 4 shutouts this season. Just allowed 6 points to NFEI, is the only opponent's points so far this year.
It's also a first in game of the week this year, Cole. It's our first safety.
How about that? Here is the free kick as Fledgy will boot it away. And this one fielded in Orange Park territory. A fair catch taken by Gaines D. Rosemay. Great field position now for Middleburg, and credit Carson Stewart's punt for making this exchange possible.
Yeah, great punt by Carson Stewart, and a couple great throws on that first drive too. I think 2 of his better plays were getting a hand around that snap as it came back a little high and wide on a couple of those times.
Well, it started at the 47-yard line. After a scoreless first quarter, a safety to start the second. Stewart will hand it off. Pinkert hit in the backfield, and down he goes. Orange Park defense sniffed that one out all the way. Jack Rivera was in the backfield to make the tackle. We also saw number 10, Willie Ross, in there for the Raiders. So a loss of 3 brings up 2nd and 13 from the midfield stripe. Stewart bringing a receiver in motion. That's Jordan Williams, and Williams will lose more yardage. Penalty marker comes in. Might be another flag against Middleburg for the hold.
Orange Park playing well tonight defensively. We're only 13.5 minutes into this game, 14.5 minutes into this game, but they are doing well. Had allowed a couple passes of merit. They are doing what they need to do to corral this Middleburg offense.
Middleburg has made the playoffs each of the last 2 years. Trying to make it 3 in a row. It's been a while since that's happened. And as you mentioned, go back to 1989. Last time they started a season 5-0 as they have here. 6-0 start would not only be one of the best starts in school history, but also would be the most wins in a season for head coach Ryan Wolf since he took over the Broncos program. Stewart the throw, looking long, throwing deep, has a man and overshoots him again. It's incomplete.
The long pass on 3rd down is incomplete.
So 3 passes. Stewart is just yards away from hitting on one of these, and he felt that pressure too from the strong side. Just overthrows him.
Jordan Avellino was the intended target.
Marcel Robinson down there on the camera and nearly caught that ball off the carom, off the ground.
So 4th down, once again, mentioned that Stewart is the punter. Had that great punt last time out from about this same spot. And he'll try to pin Orange Park again.
Carson Stewart with
and this one bounces at the 3 and goes in. It will be a touchback. And so Middleburg, unable to get things going offensively, will send their potent defense out there to try to make some more plays. They've been very good so far. It's a pitcher's duel through the first quarter plus.
You have the pick off a deflection on 4th down. You had the special teams play where Stewart punted the ball down to the 1 and Middleburg had a safety the next play. So if you like the intangibles, if you like the special teams, if you like the defense, this has been a game for you, because that's what we've seen a lot of so far.
We weren't sure if this game was going to be played tonight until after lunchtime. They had to assess the field and make sure that everything was safe after Helene blew through. Nothing doing up the middle for Orange Park in the ground game. Ruiz couldn't find any daylight with B.J. Carter and Angel Delgado combining on the tackle. And so I'm not sure the message from the coaches or the players, it was probably be prepared to play Friday night as usual. But anytime you have a day or two of classes canceled, it creates a different kind of scenario for these teams. That being said, if I said 2-0 Middleburg,
I would have asked you what inning we were in.
Yeah. Moore going to run it himself on the quarterback keeper, able to break away once. Penalty marker comes in, probably another hold.
Brad Darnold on the tackle.
Not sure that we've gone more than 2 plays in a row without seeing a penalty. This time it's actually against Middleburg for a face mask. And just the point about football being such a cyclical game in terms of the way that the week plays out. You always have the same things happening on the same days. Play on Friday, film study on Saturday for the coaches, practice at this time on this day. It becomes very routine, and when that routine gets shaken up, sometimes it impacts the way the game is played on, in this case, Friday. Moore turned the wrong way. Now will try to run it himself. Gets away for a first down and is finally tripped up after a big gain. Joel Lowe with the tackle at the 45-yard line of the Broncos.
I've actually been more impressed tonight with Orange Park's offense than Middleburg.
You see the running of Quentin Moore.
They have had success with Quentin Moore. He's thrown 2 passes, had 1 picked, and 1 other one stretched into a first down. But Orange Park running up the middle has worked really well.
You would not have predicted that with the kind of talent that Middleburg has on that defensive front led by B.J. Carter. First and 10 from the 45-yard line. Orange Park trying to put together another long drive. And the handoff. And Ruiz has a seam. Coming to the outside, has a first down. Finally chopped down to the 30-yard line. Dylan Ruiz, the junior, showed some acceleration there and picks up the first down for the Raiders.
Orange Park, they are doing what they need to do on offense. And we'll see if they can scratch any kind of points out on this drive. But I have been impressed with how they have been able to run this football tonight against a team they probably on paper should not be able to run it against.
One of the things that Marcus Wimberly said was that with the injury at quarterback, other guys need to step up. And sometimes that means receivers or backs. Can also mean offensive line, and that offensive line has played very well today. Now Orange Park will call a timeout with 6:59 to play before halftime, as the Raiders are trying to drive and take the lead from Middleburg.
I think if you're Marcus Wimberly, you're impressed with how your guys have come out in this county rivalry on an awkward week with weather delays and no practice, and performed tonight on the road. Now's a good time to remind you, if you like high school sports, you'll love our Varsity 4 podcast. Sponge Franklin and I talk to you every week about all things high school, usually football, but some other topics as well. You can get the Varsity 4 podcast wherever your favorite podcasts are found, or head over to News4JAX.com and find it under that sports tab.
I'm not sure if this is something you've had extensive conversations with Sponge about, but this has been a very odd start to the season in high school football. We have some top players, very impressive freshman and sophomore classes around the area. But boy, nobody seems to be able to hold on to that top spot this year.
It's been unusual.
Here's Moore on the run. Quentin Moore puts the shoulder down and drives his way close to the 15-yard line.
Everything has, about 90% tonight of this offense has been straight through the tackles.
We have a 9-yard gain, so 2nd and 1, and a lot of options here now for Orange Park.
And Quentin Moore, as you said earlier, Cole, he's a converted receiver, pressed into action by injury. The storyline we've had 2 weeks in a row now, and he is actually performing very well tonight against a tough defense.
What do they do on 2nd and 1? Not have to do anything. Draw Middleburg offside. They'll hand it off. Ruiz hitting the backfield and stays alive, kept on his feet, and has a first down. Dylan Ruiz getting the hard yards up the middle.
Number 56, Riley Steele on the tackle.
And this is such a different team for Marcus Wimberly than it was last year. They were able to hammer Middleburg last year. A Middleburg team that went to the playoffs, and things just have not gone well this season for Orange Park. They're a younger team. You've got a lot of new faces, and in that Clay County landscape, you've kind of fallen down the rungs a little bit. So to come out here in this county game, well, Middleburg has been kind of the story in Clay County outside of Oakleaf, and you're coming out and you're saying, hey, don't forget about us guys.
Again, they've been very meticulous in terms of these drives. They have used a lot of the game clock, a lot of the play clock. And if they could win to score a touchdown here, it would match the total number of points given up by Middleburg in their first 5 games. This is Moore on the keeper, and he dives forward for a gain of about 2.
Riley Steele collecting his 2nd tackle over the game.
Riley Steele on the tackle for Middleburg, senior defensive lineman. Each play, Moore goes over to the sideline to have a chat with the coaching staff. They'll figure out how they want to attack this Middleburg defense. Second down and call it 7. Give it off again. And Ruiz, who's done all the hard work from the running back position, gets gobbled up by B.J. Carter.
Tackle for a loss by
These smaller kind of scat backs here at Orange Park with the shiftiness and the quickness remind me of a couple years ago. Orange Park had a really good back named JoJo Restall,
yes,
who was very shifty, very elusive, and could kind of stop on a dime. And he had some big games for the Raiders.
I like the comparison. Saw B.J. Carter there just blow up his blocker. That's what Middleburg wants to see here on 3rd down. And Moore will keep it and powers his way inside the 10 and forward to about the 9.
Clinton Moore is
It's almost like if you're Middleburg, this Orange Park offense is almost like the gnat at the ballpark where you're trying to shoot away from your face and you can't quite get it. You know what Orange Park is going to do each time. They're going to run straight up the guts. They're going to run on the edge, and you cannot and have not really stopped that on this drive, or even on the first drive. They were able to have that success time and again, and you know what's coming. They're not stretching the field vertically. They're coming right at you, and you're not able to stop it.
Now timeout called by Middleburg in advance of this 4th and 3 play. We're going to talk things over defensively. Second timeout called by Middleburg here in the first half. Both have been called on defense. Considering what happened last year when Orange Park beat Middleburg 41-22, there are a lot of players on both sides of this field who remember that game, who played in that game or were on the sidelines. The longer Orange Park hangs around, you'd figure the more that game becomes a factor just mentally.
Absolutely, and this is a county rivalry. Cannot overstate that. These kids know each other. They probably played Pop Warner together, so it's a very pivotal game amongst friends here. Now's a good time to remind you to stick with us tonight for our Varsity 4 high school football show. That's coming up at 10:30 on Channel 4 or News4JAX.com. News4JAX Plus will have highlights of this game and all the others going around in the area tonight.
4th and 3. Moore trying to draw Middleburg off sides, and I think he might have done just that. Encroachment, and it'll be a first down for Orange Park.
Huge play. It's the third time that Middleburg has jumped off sides in this first half. And none more crucial than that right there. You're giving them a new set of downs inside the 10-yard line.
So first and goal from the 3. Moore kept it himself. Ball came out. Picked up by Middleburg. This play is live. Is this going to be a 98-yard fumble return for a touchdown? Answer, yes. What a play by the Broncos defense. Jaden Boyd goes the distance, and just like that, Middleburg has gone from on the precipice of giving up a touchdown for the first time since early in the game to this. Now, is there a flag down on the field? Of course there is. Are they picking it up?
What a play by that Middleburg defense. Wow. You're on the ropes and you're getting pushed back. You just jumped off sides to give them first and goal at the 3. And oh, by the way, we can still play some defense. And defense big tonight. Woo. A safety and then a strip and scoop and score.
And the ball clearly out there. And Jaden Boyd takes it the distance. 98 yards on the fumble recovery and return.
It was a 98-yard touchdown.
Man, Middleburg defense, even though you're getting pushed around a little bit, back against the wall, and that's how you respond.
Officials having the conversation with Ryan Wolf. Now they're going to go over to have a chat with Marcus Wimberly, the Orange Park head coach.
And if you're Marcus Wimberly, you're just shaking your head because you have controlled much of this first half. I don't think he ever really got a good handle on that ball after the handoff.
Maybe one of those situations, because Moore is so inexperienced at quarterback, that he put it in there, was maybe a little indecisive. And Boyd took advantage and goes coast to coast.
Now Xavier Fennell of Orange Park, saw number 6, staying with that play the whole time. 95 yards he ran with him and did not get the tackle, but wow, did not give up on that play. You like to see that hustle effort.
I believe they called unsportsmanlike conduct on Middleburg after the play was over, so that'll be assessed on the kickoff. All kinds of movement up front. Finally, a flag thrown in. Took a while. This one, I think, will go against Orange Park. It is, so half the distance. Now do you think about going for two and making it a 10-point game? Answer, yes. Here comes Middleburg quarterback Carson Stewart. It will go for two. Travis Pinkard is the back behind Stewart. He goes in motion out of the backfield. Stewart bobbles it, catches it, and can walk in. Great job by that Middleburg offensive line. 2-point conversion is good, and Middleburg has a 10-0 lead with 2:55 to play before halftime. Well, the defense has scored two times here, and now you get 2 points for the offense.
Another great play by Trent Stewart, and maybe a little underrated here is the way he has been able to corral some of these snaps tonight. That's the third one to me where I've said, wow, came in a little bit hot and it could have turned out in trouble. Now's a good time to look at what we've got going on our sister station, CW17. We've got NASCAR. The playoffs are here. Xfinity Series as well is on CW17. On the links, we've got Live Golf. And then football Saturday, the ACC, all those on CW17. A lot of sports to choose from on the CW. Cole, right now, I like what I've seen from the Orange Park offense and love what I've seen from the Middleburg defense. It has been one-sided and one-sided.
No doubt about that. Here's a kickoff by Orojo, and fair catch called for. And Anthony Ress gathers it in and then does his Fosbury flop. So 2:53 to play. And can Orange Park shake off the disappointment of that turnover? Not only did it keep them from scoring, but it led directly to a Middleburg touchdown.
Potentially going, you basically an 8-point swing right there. You're going in and you have the opportunity to come away with a touchdown and potentially be up at halftime over your rival. And the bad, the mishap on the handoff and the fumble, you're feeling probably a little bit deflated because you played extremely well on the offensive side of the football for your Orange Park. You've played very well. You've run strong. You've thrown a pass that went for a first down, but you just have not been able to get anything out of it.
So 1st and 10 from the 40. Quentin Moore in the shotgun. He'll keep it himself this time and gains a couple. Once again, a very active defensive group for Middleburg. Riley Steele in there once again, along with Gabe Baker. Getting off the bottom of the pile, B.J. Carter. Well, we mentioned earlier the clock was a friend for Orange Park when they were chewing it up in that early possession. Now it becomes a bit of an adversary. This is not a quick strike offense, at least not through the air. If they're going to strike quickly, it's going to be more than likely running the football. And on 2nd and 7, Moore to throw it, and he's wide a bit, threw it behind his intended target, Dylan Ruiz, who was coming out of the backfield. That stops the clock with a minute 59 to play before halftime.
Do not want to give Middleburg the ball back if you can help it. If you're Orange Park, you're in a 3rd down situation now. The Broncos have clearly snatched momentum from you just in the last 2 minutes. You got to keep this clock moving if at all possible. Try and grind out a first down, and at worst, just keep the ball out of Middleburg's hands the rest of this half.
3rd and 7. Line to make is just shy of the midfield stripe, and Middleburg will call their final timeout of the half. Interesting that all 3 timeouts so far have come with Middleburg on defense. Part of that has been because they've been on defense for a lot of this first half. But they are very keen to try to keep things here at a shutout. You know that when a defense has a string of shutouts going, you know that they're excited to try to keep it at 0, a goose egg on the scoreboard on that side.
Yeah, especially what they've done so far this season. Well, there's not a lot of action going on tonight. You can thank Hurricane Helene for that, but the ones that are going on right now, you can hit that QR code on your screen and take a stroll around our coverage area, get scores on games like this one. Middleburg up 10-0 on Orange Park, but we've got games going on at Christ Church, at Fleming Island, at Matanzas, down in Palm Coast, and quite a few others, including the city championship up in Brunswick. Hit that QR code on your screen right now. Get those scores and a whole lot more.
Yeah, Brunswick and Glen Academy, always a great game. The atmosphere is terrific there. You get fans on both sides in the stadium. It's a home stadium for both teams. And again, movement before the snap. And this one looks like it'll go against Orange Park.
Start on the offense.
So Orange Park having trouble with the false starts. Middleburg having trouble with the jumping off sides. If you could kind of clean those up, you're looking at a different scenario. Orange Park has really been hamstrung by its penalties tonight. Middleburg as well, especially on that last drive where you jump off sides. Giving them a 1st and goal at the 3. Kept off sides on 4th down to give Orange Park certainly its best scoring chance of the game, and they couldn't do anything with it.
Go from 3rd and 8 to 3rd and 13. More to throw it to the near side. This one is caught and spinning to the outside. Close to the first down marker is Xavier Fennell.
Not sure why they did not stop the clock on that catch right there. He's out of bounds.
Might have called it forward progress stopped. Usually, though, the clock gets stopped in those situations when you're that close to the sideline. There is Fennell, who plays strong safety on the defensive side of the ball.
Good job for Orange Park to convert there and keep possession here late in the second half.
Ruiz on the run. Nothing doing, running to the left side. Another penalty marker down. And another hold. You can somewhat understand all the holding calls when you consider the talent on the Middleburg defensive front. That's sometimes literally a handful to deal with when you got the likes of B.J. Carter coming at you. And again, this is not a particularly big offensive line for Orange Park. You've got tackles who are 5'8" and 5'9". Guards, Jeremiah Jennings, 5'11", 200. Jeremiah Hamilton, 6'2", 255. And Andrew Austin, 6'2", 250. More of a group working the angles. Throw to the left side, and this one is nearly picked off.
Joel Lloyd on that pass break.
Joel Lowe almost had himself another one.
Right there.
He had the interception earlier in the game and almost had his 3rd pick of the season. Lowe talking things over with Wayne Solf. Second down and 20. A minute and 1 second remaining. More to throw. And incomplete. And a flag comes in late. They might get pass interference on this one. There was some contact as the ball arrived.
You hate to see that if you're Ryan Wolf. If that, and it is pass interference.
There was definitely contact. Timing of it and whether it was a situation where the defensive back was going for the ball at the same time. We can take a look on the replay. Walk it up to the 44-yard line. It is a 15-yard penalty in high school football, not the automatic first down that you get in the NFL. And the spot foul. Joe Moore will work from the shotgun. And DeMar Jackson able to tote it for a couple. And the clock becoming a factor here in the late stages of the second quarter. You see Gabe Baker on the tackle, number 44. I believe Orange Park has called a timeout here.
As well as you played in this first half, you've got to feel a little bit dejected if you're Marcus Wimberly.
Yeah, opportunities have been there.
So few opportunities this year, and to get down inside the 5-yard line in a fresh set of down and to see it go back 98 yards the other way, deflating.
So third down and a long yard. Need to get inside the 40-yard line for the first down. Moore has 4 receivers. Gonna throw it deep. Going long. And this one is caught and a touchdown. Alexavier Fennell delivers for Orange Park.
What a catch. That's what you want to see if you're Marcus Wimberly. Something going right for you. You played so well in this opening half to have no points on the scoreboard, and you finally connect.
And we said this was not a fast strike passing game. Well, Quentin Moore and Alexavier Fennell say otherwise.
What a grab.
That count as a Moss.
What a grab. That's on the huddle film for him. So that changes things.
It does indeed.
That changes things.
Broncos on to attempt the extra point. Kick is up, and it is good. And Orange Park has now scored more points in this game than Middleburg had given up all year long to this point. 6 points allowed coming in, 7 on the scoreboard for Orange Park, and it's a 3-point game with 35 seconds to play because of this touchdown pass from Quentin Moore to Alexavier Fennell.
Moore's first read was on the sideline. He didn't like it. Some reason he decides to look long, and Mr. Fennell is on the receiving end. 6'2", 180-pound senior, and that is a highlight he is going to remember long after graduation. You're within 10-7 at half, and you really probably should be leading this game right now if you're Orange Park.
On the judges' scorecards, Orange Park has outpunched Middleburg so far. Broncos, though, have the edge on the scoreboard. And they will have 27 seconds with which to operate here before halftime. You would figure with a veteran senior quarterback like Carson Stewart, you'd let him cut it loose here. He's got the strong arm. You trust him to make the right plays late in the half.
He's had 3 throws that were touch long on each one. If he puts that, dials that in a little bit more, he's going to connect on one of those, and who's to say it's not right here before the end of the half.
Middleburg with no more timeouts remaining. Stewart on the roll, throws short. This one is caught, and going down right at the first down marker is Deshaun Green.
You're out of timeouts. Probably clock it here and get one more in.
Yeah. They give him the first down. They move the chains late.
Will stop the clock with 9 seconds remaining.
Should have stopped the clock to move the chains. Put 9.9 back on the clock, so maybe 2 plays. If one of them is an incomplete pass or a pass to the sideline. Jordan Avellino out here to the left. He's a speedy receiver. Green to the far side. Stewart on the rollout. Throws and incomplete, probably for the best. If Williams catches that one, he probably is tackled inbounds, and that's probably the end of the half. So probably the final play of the half here. Let's see if Stewart has enough time to uncork one and show off the arm strength.
First half, I think you have to feel pretty well going into the half, down 10-7 after how things had shaken out for Marcus Wimberly.
And they just take a knee. So that'll do it. 10-7, undefeated Middleburg with a 3-point lead. But they have been outplayed in the first half for the most part by Orange Park. But for a couple of plays, the Raiders could very easily be leading. Halftime is here in this battle in Clay County. Middleburg looking to go 6-0, a 3-point edge on the Raiders from Orange Park. We'll take time out. Back for the second half on our Varsity 4 Game of the Week.
It's Friday night, where student athletes play with nothing to lose, chasing greatness, building bonds,
and whole communities come together under the lights to witness passion, pride, and moments they'll remember for the rest of their lives.
This is football, high school football. There's no tradition like it.
And we're here to support it. Farron Farah is proud to sponsor Varsity 4 Football.
It's Friday night, where student athletes play with nothing to lose, chasing greatness, building bonds.
And whole communities come together under the lights to witness passion, pride, and moments they'll remember for the rest of their lives.
This is football, high school football. There's no tradition like it.
And we're here to support it. Farrah is proud to sponsor Varsity for Football.
Welcome back to our Varsity 4 Game of the Week. It is halftime in Middleburg. The Broncos leading the Orange Park Raiders 10-7 in what was, Justin Barney, an eventful first half.
Yeah, kind of falls in line with what we've seen the first month of our games of the week, Cole. It's been a good, solid half of football and surprisingly set up for a good finish, kind of like we did not expect to see last weekend. We ended up getting it.
Orange Park came in 1-4, made a long early drive that was snuffed out by an interception. And then we thought maybe the Middleburg offense would get things rolling, made a couple of big plays. But to start the second quarter, it was the punt by the quarterback, Carson Stewart, that set up the first points of the game on a safety. 2-0 Middleburg at that point. Orange Park, very effective running the football. Dylan Ruiz, 9 carries for 31 yards in the first half. He did the work mostly between the tackles, and this run helped set up what could have been a touchdown run. Instead, a fumble. It was scooped up by Middleburg, and 98 yards later, Jaden Boyd had scored the first touchdown of the game. Stewart took it in for the 2-point conversion, and it was 10-0. But then late in the half, Quentin Moore to Alexavier Fennell on the touchdown. We've got ourselves a ball game, Justin Barton.
And a good one, too. I love these county clashes, and we've seen some highlight plays, 2 contenders for play of the night already. One from Orange Park, one from Middleburg, and poised for a good second half. We had to wait till the last 3.5 minutes last week of our game to get a blockbuster, and I think we're poised to get a good one here now all the way through. It's been a really good game so far.
Middleburg will receive the kickoff to open the second half. We'll see if they can get things rolling. Well, you look at their scores this year, and it's awfully impressive. They played probably the toughest opponent to date, West Side, to open up the season, a 13-0 win at home against West Side. Then came back and won 42-6 at NFEI. 9-0 against Clay in a home game, and then 39-0 against Hollis Christian. So that paved the way for a 4th shutout, 27-0 at Ridgeview last week. Still to come on the schedule for Middleburg. Playing district games changes everything.
That's the tough part. They've had a far easier, more forgiving first 5 games of the season. To me, this is where it really kind of starts the ascent in terms of competition. I know Orange Park, you can't tell by looking at the record, but they won this game big last year over Middleburg, a playoff team last year. And then after this, you go at Ponte Vedra, at Beachside, at home against Fleming Island, and then at North Marion. I mean, you could conceivably start 6-0 and finish 6-4. I mean, that's how tough that back end of the schedule is for Middleburg. So you really want to win this one at all costs to prepare for that rugged second half of the season. They stuck in the playoffs last year as that 8 seed, ended up having to play St. Augustine. I was at that game. St. Augustine is just a different beast. But, man, when you got Ponte Vedra at Beachside, both St. Johns County teams ranked in my Super 10, that is a tough back part of the schedule for these Middleburg Broncos.
Well, and for Orange Park, after this game, they'll take on West Side. Then it's home against Ponte Vedra, at Beachside, and they finish the season at Clay. So this win would be enormous for their season to give them a chance to try to make a push for the postseason.
And talk, yes, this is a district game, but it's also a county game. And I remember when Ryan Wolf got hired at Middleburg, I went over and talked to him and went into the locker room and talked to the players, and they were doing weight training. And they said, we're sick of being a homecoming game. We're sick of being referred to as the worst team in Clay County. Those guys heard it all the time. And if you don't think that stuff does not resonate and stick in teenagers' minds, when your friend is playing at Fleming Island or Oakleaf and saying, hey, you guys suck, you're our homecoming opponent, that stuff sticks, that stuff resonates. So for them to have turned it around like they've done in 4 years under Ryan Wolf, remarkable. And for Orange Park, they don't want to hear that either from Middleburg and the other guys in the county. So this is a huge game for the Raiders.
And here is the kickoff. Fledgy boots it deep, and it is Jordan Williams who will bring it upfield, cutting to the outside and out of bounds past the 40, and good starting field position for Middleburg. Yeah, talking about Ryan Wolf, he certainly understands the Clay County dynamic. He was the offensive coordinator at Fleming Island, then the offensive coordinator at Clay as well under Josh Hoekstra, and cut his teeth there. And he knows what it is like in Clay County. The support from the community in the Clay County schools are terrific. And he's really loved the community support at Middleburg. He said, quote, one of the attractive things about this job, we still have a community school that's supported by the community. When you walk around here, it's just got a pretty cool feel to it.
And he is very well respected among his coaching brethren. He is a good offensive mind and just a well-respected young man.
And he will call a running play to Travis Pinkard on the opening offensive snap of the third quarter. Pinkard doesn't get far, back to the 41-yard line.
We're talking about county stuff, Cole. It's when you're in Clay County, this is a small county, and you see in some of these small counties the it school, the place to be. You start getting good, and all of a sudden you got kids wanting to come to your school. And I've always said, going back to the Tim Tebow days or even the Bowles days before that, if you got a good team, you got good players, you got good coaches, that best school recruits itself.
Carson Stewart on second down fakes the handoff. Being pursued, rolling to the edge. He'll keep it himself and go out of bounds at the 45-yard line. It'll bring up third down and 5. Well, this was something that really stuck with me after our conversation with Ryan Wolf. He says, we're trying to stack together things to build off each year. I don't think the schools ever went on to play 3 straight years in the playoffs. So that would be another thing this year, as another flag is thrown. But these kids, this community, this faculty, this administration, they deserve a football team they can be proud of. And that's what I'm really happy that we're able to give them since I've been here. That kind of perspective tells you an awful lot about the way that Ryan Wolf approaches his job. Pick the flag up, so on 3rd and 5, Carson Stewart throwing deep and off the hands of Jordan Williams, incomplete. I beg your pardon, Jordan Avellino, the other of the two Jordans.
Just a little too high again, so Stewart's passes have been there in the vicinity, just a little too high on 4 incompletions so far, just a little long on his first home run ball and just a little too high on that one.
Yeah, I don't think he could have thrown it any lower because of the defenders, and Avellino did get a hand on it, and I think he'd probably tell you that that's one he wants to catch every time. But you're right, there have been inches separating Middleburg from some big plays in the passing game. Stewart punting again, backs up into punt formation, and the rugby-style kick is fielded at the 14-yard line by Orange Park. And up past the 30 to the 34-yard line. The Raiders will have very good field position to get things started this time around. Alex Xavier Fennell has been the guy making some big plays for this Orange Park team, both in special teams and catching the football. We've also seen him on defense.
Jordan Williams, Middleburg on that punt team, helmet popped off again. It's the third time tonight I've seen his helmet pop off. So
that's one of your pet peeves, isn't it?
I think Jordan's going to need to talk to that equipment manager and get some super glue for that chin strap.
First and 10 from the 34-yard line for Quentin Moore, who was 3 of 6 passing for 69 yards in the first half. And he runs it here, has a first down, dashing away, has a blocker down the far sideline. Quentin Moore goes the distance, touchdown, and Orange Park has the lead.
What a turnaround in the last 5 minutes of football we've seen for this Orange Park offense.
Touchdown for Orange Park.
They had the big throw from Quentin to Alexavier Fennell for the touchdown, and then boom, first drive, the second half, takes it to the house, and he has been knocking on the door tonight. Orange Park on offense has played extremely well.
And it was Fennell out there blocking in front. He continues to make plays, some of them in the scorebook, some of them not. But that run by Quentin Moore, 66 yards, puts him over 100 yards rushing in the game. He had 12 carries for 46 yards in the first half. Now 13 carries, 110 yards on the ground for the former wide receiver turned quarterback Quentin Moore. Extra point is up and good, and Orange Park has the lead. Middleburg trails for the first time this year, 14-10.
You're Marcus Wimberly. This is 5 minutes of football that you're just knocking your guys on the shoulder pads and saying, this is what we are capable of. I know you see the record, I know you hear the one win, but this is what we're capable of. We played some tough competition, we've come up short, but we are capable of a whole lot more. Super 10 teams in action tonight, and we'll have a new Super 10 team on Tuesday night in our Super 10 weekly rankings. That comes to you in the 10 o'clock news every Tuesday evening in the regular season. You can catch that segment about 10:45 on Tuesday nights, and you can find our expanded Super 10 at News4JAX.com. Man, Marcus Wimberly's got to be thrilled with these last 5 minutes of play from what he's seen from his Raiders.
And here is Jordan Williams on the return, and
Jordan Williams
helmet off again.
Number 4 with his 4th helmets.
Now, Marcus Wimberly, when we talked to him this week, you can tell he's been frustrated by all the injuries that his team's had to deal with, and he's been playing a lot of young players. That can be frustrating because the tendency of young players is to make mistakes in their learning process. But usually at some point in the season, those young players start to put it together. We may be seeing that here tonight with the Raiders. And
he's got some tradition behind him. He's a Miami guy. He's not used to taking these lumps. Used to coming from he played in a good program. He's used to that success, and this has been a little bit of a change of pace for him. But I think you're seeing this Orange Park team show what they're about tonight.
Carson Stewart takes the snap, gives it off to Pinkard. Up the middle, his best run of the ball game. Stiff arms a man and down past the 35-yard line to the 36. A 16-yard gain on first down for Travis Pinkard.
What a good corral of the snap, the high and hard snap for Stewart back there, and the Middleburg offense.
Beg your pardon, that was Jordan Grace, Justin. We've seen Pinkard not really find the open seams, but Grace got it done there.
For Middleburg, you want to settle this down. Orange Park scored 0 touchdowns at the last 6.5 minutes of play.
And both on big plays. Stewart, the throw. Sets up the screen. It was tipped and caught. Mason Zwilling, but he's going to lose yardage on the catch. Zwilling is a guy who has been the backup quarterback, but he's such a good football player that Ryan Wolf just tries to find ways to get him involved in the game. Played a lot of fullback as a result. When was the last time you had a quarterback / fullback position for a player on offense?
It's like our arena league or a small high school.
Yeah. From the 34-yard line, Stewart fires. This one is caught by Deshaun Green. Cannot get away, able to lean forward to about the 45. One of the things that Marcus Wimberly said about his defensive secondary is that he thought that they needed to have better discipline, eye discipline, know where to be. Make sure you're not getting looked off. As a former defensive back, he holds them to a high standard. They played very well tonight.
They have played extremely well, and I don't know if that's what's causing Stewart to maybe look long on some of his throws, because those defensive backs are playing tight and up close, but passing game has not gotten going for Middleburg tonight, so maybe Marcus Wimberly's actions are paying off for his DBs.
3rd and inches. Stewart will take it himself and has 5, maybe 6 yards. First down yardage into Orange Park territory.
Bronco first down.
Well blocked up front by Charles Little, the right guard, Jakevius Carter, the right tackle, and Travis Antikowitz, the center for Middleburg on that offensive line.
We have yet to have a disappointing varsity 4 game of the week, Cole, and
been good.
This one is falling right into that alignment of our previous games.
Williams in motion, will hand it off. This time not much doing up the middle for Jordan Grace.
Jordan Grace, who picked up an early
Correction to what I said earlier. Game's going on tonight.
stopped at the line
The
of
Brunswick Glen Academy game has been pushed to Monday at 6 p.m. Another casualty of Hurricane Helene.
Monday Night Football in Glenn County.
Monday Night Football here too. We've got a lot of games on Monday night. Hopefully a better performance from our local teams than we saw from the local team last Monday night up in Buffalo.
2nd and 10 from midfield for Middleburg, trailing for the first time in the season. Fire to the right side. This one is caught by Green. Goes down just short of the first down.
Green with another big pitch. Makes it 3rd and short.
Stewart's got a quick release. He throws a good ball.
The signs being flashed over here on the sidelines with the offensive formation and plays. There's Superman on there.
Where's Connor Stallions when you need him right now to decipher what's being said on the sidelines?
Another 3rd and short, 3rd down and a yard. Stewart again will run, and this time needs the second effort. Got a little help from his friends up front. Falls forward for another Middleburg first down. And do we have another flag on the play? Let's take another look. Pretty good impact there at the line of scrimmage.
Too many men in the backfield on the Broncos.
That one is coming back.
Formation penalty. Not enough guys on the line of scrimmage, so instead of 3rd and inches, it's 3rd and 6. You got JU and a jump man involved over there. If they're pulling plays from JU football, they've had to go back into the past a bit.
The ghost of Steve Gilbert there, the Middleburg coaching staff.
Stewart to throw it. And on the sideline, it is caught for a first down inside the 40 by Joel Lowe. Well, here's the connection. Josh Hoekstra, formerly the head coach at Clay when Ryan Wolf was there, was a backup quarterback at JU under Steve Gilbert. So
that is true.
Maybe there's the connection.
A lot of connections locally. Ryan Wolf has been at quite a few schools. You mentioned the Clay County ties. Josh Hoekstra, a JU product, has coached quite a few places in town.
Now the offensive coordinator at Bowles.
Led the Clay Blue Devils to a state championship game appearance. Now serving at Bowles under Matt Toblin, who also coached at Clay. Played at Maynard under Craig Howard. Later joined Howard's staff at Nice. Josh Josh Hoekstra was on the staff at St. Augustine as well. All these coaching bloodlines in the area. You mentioned earlier, Cole, about things being different this week and in terms of no practice and kind of shaking things up, and we going to play, are we going to not going to play? And Joey Wiles told me years ago that football players and coaches are creatures of habit, and when you're thrown a curveball, when you have to adjust, learn to get out of that habit, and change is good when you've got to get out of your comfort zone. And that could be a 10 o'clock in the morning state championship game. That could be a game after 2 days of practice and dodging a hurricane.
Stewart on 1st and 10. Rolls right, throws right. This one is caught. Slipping down to a knee is Jordan Williams. He'll pick up about 3.
Jordan Williams.
And the drive continues.
Picking up about
You talk about creatures of habit and getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. A lot of times that's part of the culture, not just about the culture of the team in the school, but about the team in the locker room. And how do those guys react when things aren't the same? It can be tough. Marcus Wimberly said they did some of their meetings over Zoom this week because of school closures. And when you think about it, that's probably less of a departure from the norm than it used to be, because everybody had to do some of that same sort of thing during the pandemic, where there was an awful lot of learning to adjust. Here's Joel Lowe with a first down catch for Middleburg.
Good game for Lowe on the offensive and defensive side of the ball.
Interception in the first quarter.
I do think weeks like this, where you're uncertain if you're going to play until 12:30 on game day, they do help you in the long run, because it's not a traditional 7 o'clock kick that you've been waiting for all week. It's a little bit of uncertainty that you had for a few days.
1st and 10 from the 22-yard line. Stewart brings Williams in motion. A little bit of a busted play. Stewart's going to run it himself. Gets to the outside and runs out of bounds near the 16. Nice job by Stewart after the play broke down. Looked like he turned the wrong way, or the back went the wrong way.
tonight into the premier American construction red zone.
Able to run it himself. This is the deepest offensive penetration so far for Middleburg in the game.
And finally something going, sustained going for this Middleburg offense. Taking them 2.5 quarters, but it's finally starting to unfurl with a little bit of familiarity for the Broncos.
2nd and a long 2. Stewart will run it again. He's got the first down. Another helmet comes off, and it will be 1st and goal for Middleburg for the first time in this game. Stewart's got the job done on the ground when called upon.
Helmet looks like a ball.
Really only seen him
First down.
taking that similar play like that when he ran in that 2-point conversion. A lot of handoffs, a lot of long throws. He is getting it done on this drive, though, on the ground.
1st and goal from the 9 for Middleburg, trying to recapture the lead after Orange Park came out and scored on their first possession of the second half. Stewart will hand it off. This is Grace running up the middle, keeping those legs churning, and finally taken down at the 2-yard line. Jordan Grace getting the carries here in the second half and moving the ball for Middleburg.
The other goal line is where we saw Orange Park have a similar 1st and goal, and it went back 98 yards for a scoop and score for Middleburg. So nothing guaranteed, even in this situation here for Middleburg.
And Orange Park going to call a timeout here with 2:05 to play in the 3rd quarter in what is no doubt a highly important play here in this ball game, with Orange Park leading 14-10.
Speaking of Jaguars, Cole, we've got some news for Jags and News4JAX newsletter. If you like all the podcasts, you can check that out wherever you get your favorite podcasts, whether it's under the sports tab at News4JAX.com, Apple Podcasts, or on Spotify. If you want to listen to the News4JAX podcast, check it out there. And also, if you like to read instead of listen, News4JAX.com/newsletters. You can check out our News4JAX newsletter. Subscribe to it right there. Coming up tonight at 11:20, Jamal St. Cyr, News4JAX sports analyst Frank Frangie, talk about the Jaguars as they head to Houston on Sunday, trying to shake off a 3-game slide. That's at 11:20 tonight on Teal the Show.
All right, so here we go on 2nd and goal from the 2. Stewart dashes out to the right, cuts it back in, and he was stopped just shy of the goal line. The ball came out after the whistle. It'll bring up 3rd down and goal for Middleburg.
Carson Stewart takes it down to the 1-yard line on
Nearly got it in.
3rd and a yard.
Did not get past the line, and
Daniel Richardson
down at the 1.
Give him credit for blowing that play up at the line of scrimmage. Clock running inside a minute and a half to play in the 3rd quarter. Middleburg trying to stay perfect on the season. Carson Stewart will run it, and he's in. Touchdown Middleburg, and the Broncos reclaim the lead.
Best drive of the night offensively for Middleburg. Orange Park had been backed up. Middleburg finally delivers. They'd just been a little out of sync tonight, and Stewart plunges in. He scored on a 2-point run there late in the first half, and now Middleburg back up in this game. PAT would make it a 3-point lead.
And here is Brock Araujo. As the snap was a little bit low, well handled by Mason Zwilling. The holder got it down, and Araujo kicks it through. And so Middleburg leads Orange Park 17-14 with 1:15 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Once again, the Varsity 4 game of the week, delivering some drama.
How about some more drama, Cole? CW17, we've got all kinds of sports over there for you to check out. Live Golf, the NASCAR playoffs on CW, Xfinity, and they are going on strong right now. And then, by the way, ACC football on Saturday. Take your pick. We got all the sports covered. Football, golf, and auto racing on CW17. Make sure you check that out tomorrow.
I will be honest with you, Justin Barney, when we started looking ahead to this game, started digging into what has happened this year, I started thinking, well, our string of competitive games, thrillers, dramatics may be coming to an end.
Well,
how
Cole,
wrong I was.
When we look at the games for the season, we know how they're going to play out, right? Not the Jaguar script.
Yeah, I didn't get the script this year.
No.
Now the return for Orange Park.
That was in reference to the beautifully directed Asher Grodman schedule release script a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Won all kinds of awards, rightfully so.
I think the NFL kind of thieved that theory too, that idea to put in some of their promos.
So when we sat down and picked out the games of the week, we knew they were
you picked the good ones.
All matchups that would come down to the last few minutes of the game. And last week we had a good one. The other option was Nice St. Augustine. Of course, that was an overtime game won by the Panthers 35-34.
Just a coin flip on that one.
Coin flip on that one.
1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. Quentin Moore has 110 yards rushing. He's going to run it from the quarterback position. Gain a yard this time. Last time he was out there running, he ran for 66 yards and a score.
So this is Middleburg's best start since all the way back in 1989. I was a kid back then, Cole, and it was the winter of '89 when it snowed in Jackson.
That's right.
And Alan Hall was a junior quarterback at Middleburg and led them to a 7-0 start and I had to figure out who they lost against today. My former colleague Clayton Freeman was kind enough to share that. I did not have the losses to that, but they started 7-0 in 1989.
Who's the first loss?
They lost in their 8th game to a team from Putnam County called the Panthers, 27-14.
All right.
That was half of the Bronco defense stuffing the Orange Park.
That'll be the last play of the third quarter. Heading to the fourth quarter, and we have a good one in Clay County. Middleburg 17, Orange Park 14. 12 minutes of football, or maybe more, still to come on our Varsity 4 game of the week.
While we're wrapping up a good one here in Clay County, we got another good one coming to you next week in our Week 7 Varsity 4 game of the week, coming to you from Coy Creek down in St. Johns County. They're hosting Beachside in an excellent matchup. Coy Creek coming off its biggest win in program history with a 46-26 victory over Bartram Trail this past Wednesday night. Of course, Beachside, they're number 9 in our Varsity 4 Super 10, coming off a huge win over Menendez. Those two teams, both one-loss teams, coming to you next week in our Varsity 4 game of the week. You can catch it 7 o'clock on News4JAX.com, News4JAX Plus, and in your News4JAX app. Two teams that are possibly heading to the playoffs, Cole.
Best rivalry name in the area, the Surf and Turf rivalry.
Too bad they do not serve that to media members covering the game.
Those two schools are so similar. They're very near each other geographically. If you're dropped out of the sky and didn't see the signage, you might think they're the same school. They the blueprints are almost identical.
Open 1 year apart. Beachside, of course, off 210. Nowhere near a beach, but
well, it's on the side.
Close to a man-made lake. And then Coy Creek is on the World Golf Village exit. Those two guys, rivals by proximity. Both those teams have had really good starts. Zach Harbison doing a fantastic job in his second season at Coy Creek. And Pete Duffy done a remarkable job with a young Barracudas program.
Both of those programs, because the schools are relatively new, really got up and running in a hurry.
Yeah, they have done well. And I look back at Ponte Vedra when they opened, Bartram when they opened back in 2000, Creekside when they opened. All those schools really got off running to a quick start. And I think that's good coaching hires and good players.
More to throw it. And it is caught, but cut down as he caught it, Brock Fledgy. Will be short of the first down.
Both these programs here, Orange Park and Middleburg, have churned out some good players over the years. Orange Park had an excellent quarterback, Jeff McCrone, during his time there. Father Ron was at Orange Park as well. They had a good coach, Danny Green. Led them to the state semifinals years ago during his time there. Derek Cipoletti, former linebacker at Orange Park, now the head coach at Fleming Island, was a Super 11 selection at Orange Park. A lot of good guys, including I went to Bowles for a little bit of time. Robert Pollard was at Orange Park. So many good athletes from Clay County at Middleburg. Gary Barnage has been a great one. Mike Mitchell, running back, is now at Utah.
Here's the punt. It's a line drive punt that's going to bounce and take an Orange Park roll inside the 30 and down to the 26-yard line. You mentioned Ron and Jeff McCrone. I called a lot of games with those two guys when they were playing for the Jacksonville Tomcats, the old AF2 Arena Football League. And got to spend a lot of time with Ron McCrone. Had some great stories. Of course, he'd been a USFL coordinator as well.
McCrones are good people.
Yep.
Ron passed away a couple years ago and left quite a legacy. Quite a legacy. Middleburg as well has churned out quite a few big names. I mentioned Gary Barnage, former NFL tight end, played there. very good athletes in Clay County and at these two schools.
All right, so here's a big drive for Middleburg. They've recaptured the lead, and now with a chance to try to distance themselves from Orange Park. The last drive, the best of the game for the Broncos offense.
You got to answer the call here. If you're Orange Park on defense, you played well. You really should be up a couple scores in this game. But you're down 3 and a quarter to play.
From the 36, Stewart takes the snap and hands it off. Running up the middle, has some room. Jordan Grace continues to carry the load here in the second half. He's been the most effective of the Middleburg running backs. We could also see Sam Craven, a sophomore, who's gotten some touches this year. Pinkard running in the first half, and it's been mostly Grace here in the second.
Credit to both of these teams for coming out and playing in a game like this, turning in a classic.
Here is Grace again, hit behind the line of scrimmage. OP defense there to make the stop. Jeremiah Jennings, doing double duty on the offensive and defensive lines, made the tackle.
Park does not look like a team that's only won one game.
No. Give credit to these players too, whether it was because it's a rivalry game, because of what happened last year, what have you. It is not easy to make the sacrifices needed to be a good football team when the record isn't paid you back for all that effort. But Orange Park is stuck with it here. And they're within 3 points of an undefeated Middleburg team. Stewart to throw it. Has time. Throws short. This one is caught by Jordan Williams. Spun down after a gain. He was
there. Page the third with a good wrap-up tackle there. Prevent anything from going further than it did. That's been a few good tackles tonight on both teams. Guys stopping plays before first down. So Kingsley Rosame from Middleburg had another tackle early on to prevent a first.
3rd down and 4 from just beyond the 42-yard line. They need to make it to the 46-yard line for a first down. Middleburg probably won't be in too much of a hurry here with the ball and the lead. Williams in motion. Stewart again bobbles the snap, able to corral it, throws. Williams has got it and has the first down. Tiptoeing the far sideline into Orange Park territory at the 49-yard line.
More importantly, his helmet stays on.
Hey, that's a win.
And gets the first. Safe play there. Another tough snap. Stewart was able to reel in. Nice play by Williams to get a first out of there. Now you're at midfield. You want to take some more time off the clock. Middleburg, this offense finally getting into a little bit of a rhythm after 2 quarters of trying to figure things out.
Stewart looking to throw long. Deep down the near side, 2 defenders are out there. Incomplete. Double coverage on the 6'2" Deshaun Green. And I think Stewart saw that and just threw it over everybody.
The long ball has not been there tonight for whatever reason, whether that's been kind of what you were alluding to with the corners and Marcus Wimberly getting more out of them this week or what, but that long ball has just not been there for Stewart. More of that success throwing on those short little slant routes tonight.
There you go with Packers and Darth Vader among the choices here.
Was that a Grambling?
Might have been a Grambling. A rollout, Stewart fires. This one is caught. First down inside the 40-yard line. Well done by Deshaun Green, who used his body to shield the defenders from the ball. And a little slow getting up for Orange Park there, right at the end of the play.
And Stewart has got a quick release. He puts everything into those throws.
So it's 1st and 10 from the 39-yard line. They'll restart the clock here. And once again, you see Middleburg very deliberate, looking to the sideline. Ryan Wolf will signal in what he wants after seeing the defensive alignment. Zwilling moves over to the left on a wing. Williams in motion, handed off. And here's Grace again, cutting back to the inside. Grace has a first down inside the 25-yard line to the 24. Jordan Grace, since coming into the game, has really changed the complexion and tempo of this Middleburg offense.
He has been a spark plug here in the second half. Has not got the ball a ton, but man, he is making plays every time they're calling his number. First down carry there.
Came into the game with 20 carries for 105 yards and 2 touchdowns this season. So he's averaging just 4 carries per game. He has been doing yeoman's work here in the second half. Stewart's going to roll it out. Keeping it himself, and could not elude the last defender on the edge, Willie Ross, with a shoestring tackle.
I think if you're Ryan Wolf and Middleburg, you're going in to the locker room after this game and appreciative for the type of outing that you've had tonight. You needed to play a tough game like this with what you've got left of the next 4 weeks. In a game like this, far more, I think, beneficial than a game like you saw against a Hollis Christian earlier in the year.
I think both teams can take an awful lot out of this game. This might be Orange Park's best performance getting back to the opener against Ridgeview. They'll throw it to Grace out of the backfield to the outside. And Grace taken down by Derek Page. Grace continues to be the spark plug of this engine for the Middleburg offense in the second half.
He has got it done. Stewart's playing a little bit more comfortable and loose back there. And I think this is a type of game that Middleburg desperately needed going into the final gauntlet of the year. You can hold on here. You get to 6-0 and a little bit of a slugfest. You haven't had a game like this since you muscled by Clay 9-0. You needed a game like this, a tested back and forth game.
Williams comes in motion. Give it to Grace again, running up the middle. Down to about the 6-yard line. Clock continues to turn inside 6 minutes to play.
Picks up a small gain on first down.
You see Grace with his hands on his hips. He is working hard here in the second half.
This means that we are in the premier American construction first red zone.
You can still get a first down here.
See the marker just inside the 5 at about the 4. Points are important, so is the clock. Grace again, up the middle. Down to the 5.
Very reminiscent to me of an earlier Orange Park drive where they just bled the clock. The first drive of the game for Orange Park, which ended with an interception. Middleburg defense was on the field for about 9 minutes.
3rd and a yard.
Wisconsin Badgers and Harvest Warriors or Golden State Warriors.
The old Golden State logo. Stewart on the quarterback keeper, hitting the backfield. Will not get there. Orange Park rising to the occasion there. Willie Ross involved in the tackle.
Which brings up 4th and 3.
Now, a loss of a yard, maybe 2. 4th down. Do you kick it and make it a 6-point game, or do you go for it here?
Man, this is tough.
I think I go for it here.
I'd probably go for it. On one hand, I don't have a lot of confidence confidence right now that if you give Orange Park a 97-yard field, 95-yard field, that they go down there and march at this point in the game. I think Middleburg has gotten a little bit more momentum in the last probably 10 minutes of this fourth quarter, the end of the third and the rest of the fourth.
And you see number 9, B.J. Carter, was in there on offense, the big defensive tackle. So heavy jumbo called. Let's see if Middleburg sticks with it.
You like high school football, high school basketball, anything else high school related, love our Varsity 4 podcast. Sponge Franklin and I come to you every week with a new episode of the Varsity 4 podcast. You can check that out wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts: Apple, Spotify, Amazon, Google. Get them anywhere, and at News4JAX.com under that sports tab. Come to you every week with a new episode.
Well, if you're going to run the football, you might as well run it in behind 6'4", 275. B.J. Carter.
It's a tough call, Cole. If you were the OC for Middleburg right now, what would you call into the headset and dial up here?
Well, the way Jordan Grace has been running the football, I think I'd let him follow in big number 9 and probably put Mason Zwilling involved in this as far as a run blocker as well. You also see 44, Gabe Baker, the defensive lineman out there.
With how that last snap on the PAT went, I don't know if I'd be comfortable going
direct snap. Goal. Whistles blow, though. Before the ball could be snapped, Jaden Boyd, they snapped it with people moving. That's the risk of putting guys in on offense who aren't in there every play.
Going with the heavy sets. And you got 2 guys moving in the backfield. You had the block there. Can't have 2 guys moving at the same time.
Now, just to be honest, I think I kicked the field goal. But that is not what Middleburg is going to do. They could put the ball in the hands of either Carson Stewart or Jordan Grace here on 4th and 8.
I just would have hesitation on a field goal after the last PAT that we saw. The snap, and it was a great job by the holder to get it down and queued up for the PAT, but the Orange Park rush was on that tight too, so I think I go for it here.
Carson Stewart. The throw. Looks end zone. Caught. Touchdown. Zwilling has the score, and Middleburg stretches the lead.
What a call there. Gutsy. Gutsy. Let the fullback slip out and the flat uncovered. They all went with the running back, and you got Zwilling wide open.
When you hear a coach talk about a player who doesn't really have a position on the field, Zwilling's the backup quarterback, but Ryan Wolf just raved about the kind of football player. He just is a football player, period. No surprise when the game's on the line that he'd be a guy he'd want to go to.
Yeah, good play, good execution.
Here is the extra point. There was some movement at the snap. The kick is good, and for the time being, Middleburg has a 24-14 lead, but let's see what the flag's about. All start against Middleburg, so they'll have to kick it again.
Great play call by Ryan Wolf. Stewart got it out of his hands before the pressure on the backside too. Orange Park has been so close tonight on that rush and just has not gotten Stewart before he's gotten rid of that ball. So to me, this has been a game of such close calls for Orange Park, but Middleburg just a step ahead in so many close call situations.
Snap back and a little longer extra point by Orojo, and he boots it right through. So it is a 10-point Middleburg lead with 3:38 to play here in the ball game. Good one in Clay County. Middleburg has been challenged as much as they have been all year long, but the Broncos are one stop away from going to 6-0 on the season.
Coming up tonight, the One of the best football shows that we do all year is every Friday night. That's our Varsity 4 high school football show. Tonight at 10:30, you can catch highlights from around the area, including our game of the week, the one you're watching right now, plus some other great ones in the area, updates on our Super 10, and an interview with News head football coach Colin Drafts. You can catch that tonight on Channel 4 at 10:30 or News4JAX.com. We'll carry it there too.
All right, well, let's see if Orange Park can strike fast. Their 2 touchdowns have both been on big plays. 2 of their few big plays. Been a pretty measured offensive approach so far in this game for the Raiders. And on the return, Derek Page bringing it back. And 3.5 minutes to play, and we'll see if Orange Park can get things going. Quentin Moore has been the catalyst. I think Xavier Fennell has sort of been the linchpin, though. When the offensive plays have been made, he had the big touchdown catch, and then had a key block on Quentin Moore's long 66-yard touchdown run.
Orange Park has done it in big plays tonight. That's why I think you've got a chance here. And if it follows any schematic of our last few games of the week, Cole, you know it will come down to the final minute of this game.
Moore takes the snap and will hand it off. And Ruiz found a couple of yards. Most of the ground games have been with Moore with the ball in his hands. Ruiz has done some hard running here in this game. 9 carries, 31 yards in the first half. Only a couple of carries here in the second. As we go inside, 3 minutes to play in Middleburg. Moore again from the shotgun with Ruiz next to him. Going to throw it in and out of the hands of Fennell. He had the right read. Fennell was open. Threw it a little bit to the inside. Fennell sort of stopped his route short by half a step and couldn't haul it in.
I think the play of the game, go back to that second quarter, and you're knocking on the door on the 2-yard line. Had that ball pop loose in Middleburg the other way for 6.
Oh yeah, but think about it. That could be a 14-point swing, 15-point swing with a 2-point try. 3rd down now. And Moore is going to run it himself. Has the first down. Goes head over heels to the 40-yard line. Picks up the first down. And keeps hope alive for Orange Park. They need to score, get the onside kick, and put something together again. Clock not an ally for Orange Park.
Although could be an ally with what we saw last week. 2 onside kicks recovered in 30 seconds.
There's Ruiz again running up the middle. Found a couple. And this is also an additional challenge for a quarterback like Moore, who had been a wide receiver. Hasn't been through these kind of last-second drills often enough. You can't just turn the reins over to him. Takes a little more time between plays to get it communicated in. 2nd down and 6. You see the clock at the bottom of the screen. 4 receivers. Moore throws, goes deep, and this one is intercepted but out of bounds. Floyd Reed in coverage. 90 seconds remaining.
I think if you're Marcus Wimberly and the Raiders coaching staff, you're gonna be frustrated if this game holds. But you're going to take away the positives that your offense produced. And really, the exception of the fumble at the goal line, you really did enough to win this game.
Here's the throw. Again going deep, incomplete. Moore trying to get it downfield. And now it's 4th down. Could be the last chance here for Orange Park.
This makes it 4th and 6.
A minute 22 to play. Orange Park with 2 timeouts.
Orange Park off the field.
Quentin Moore pressed into service earlier this year, had been the top wide receiver for Orange Park. That was the plan. He's had to play quarterback. Can he make one more play to keep this drive alive? Quick throw to the right side. Knocked down, incomplete. Joel Lowe was there yet again. And that is likely to do it. Moore's having a conversation with the officials. Is there another penalty marker down?
Middleburg's defense stepped up when it needed to tonight. They talking this one over?
A late flag is on the field. We will
There was a late flag thrown.
A little jawing after that play, I think.
It is against Middleburg. It's after the play, though, so it will be Broncos football. The yardage immaterial at this point. And we're likely to see the victory formation for the Broncos here with a minute 20 to play.
A good effort by Orange Park tonight. I think there's a lot to like this Raiders football team with how you played tonight. Came into this game, one win, trending in the wrong direction. Injuries, young faces all over the place. And I think that Marcus Wimberly and staff disappointed with a loss, but I think a lot to like in how they played tonight. And if you're Ryan Wolf in Middleburg, you're going to party like it's 1989. And enjoy this one on a weird week.
We would like to invite you to stay
And get ready for this gauntlet second half of the season.
perform on the field.
Started 7-0 in 1989. Best start that the school has had. We're going to get to 6-0 tonight. And try to keep that winning streak going. Number 7 is going to be tricky to get. And number 8, which would make it the best start in school history, is going to be even more difficult to
Road
get.
games at Ponte Vedra and at Beachside coming up the next 2 weeks of the season, next 2 games of the season. They'll have a bye week after this one, and then at Ponte Vedra, at Beachside, home against Fleming, all 3 big district games before they wrap up the season on the road at North Marion. One more snap, and that will do it for Middleburg to go to 6-0 on the season. That's the most wins under Ryan Wolf in his 4 years. They'd won 5 each of the last 3 years. Now they're 6-0, and one of the stories of the year in our area. The Middleburg Broncos 24, the Orange Park Raiders 14. Middleburg remains perfect in what was a very competitive game here in Clay County.
A good one tonight, Cole. I think our streak continues of seeing good games. And I think we're going to see another good one next week.
Well, Clay County delivered with Middleburg staying perfect. We saw the Broncos defense make some big plays, including a 98-yard fumble return for a touchdown. Orange Park had their chances, but Middleburg stays undefeated despite some big plays from the Raiders. 24-14 the final. Next week, it's surf and turf as we get ready for Beachside at Tucoy Creek in our Varsity 4 Game of the Week. For Justin Barney, I'm Cole Pepper. Thanks for watching our Varsity 4 Game of the Week.
It's Friday night, where student athletes play with nothing to lose, chasing greatness, building bonds.
And whole communities come together under the lights to witness passion, pride, and moments they'll remember for the rest of their lives.
This is football, high school football, There's no tradition like it.
And we're here to support it. Farron Farah is proud to sponsor Varsity for Football.